Somewhere, right now, in a 3-pound mass of tissue behind your eyes, something impossible is happening. A 100 trillion electrical signals are firing every second. Patterns are forming. Thoughts are becoming words. And those words are about to ask a question so big it almost folds in on itself. What is the most complex thing in the entire universe? We tend to measure big by size. The universe, galaxies, black holes that could swallow 1,000 suns. But size isn't complexity. Complexity is something else entirely. It's about how many parts something has, how those parts talk to each other, and what happens when they do. By that measure, some of the most complex things in existence are hiding in plain sight, including one that's reading these very words right now. Today, we're counting down the 5 most complex things science has ever discovered, from the edge of space-time itself, all the way down to something sitting inside your own skull. Stay until the end, because number 1 isn't just complex. It's complex enough to ask what complexity even means. We start at the edge of physics itself. A black hole looks like nothing, a void, an absence. But physicists believe black holes may be the most information-dense objects in existence. Not the emptiest things in the universe, possibly the fullest. Modern physics suggests that black holes dominate the entropy budget of the entire observable universe, meaning that, hidden behind their event horizons, they may be storing more information than every star, every planet, every galaxy combined. Think about that. Somewhere out there, a region of space with no light, no matter as we understand it, might be the single densest archive of information the cosmos has ever produced. But here's the catch. A black hole doesn't think. It doesn't grow, adapt, or remember in any meaningful sense. It just holds. Total density. 0 flexibility. That's why it only ranks 5th. Number 4 is, in a way, cheating. Because number 4 is everything. The universe contains every galaxy, every star, every black hole, every planet, and, as far as we know, every living thing that has ever existed. By raw scale, nothing can compete. It is, quite literally, the sum of all complexity. But here's the strange part. Saying the universe is the most complex thing is a bit like saying a library is more complex than any single book inside it. True. Technically true. But not exactly useful. Because somewhere inside that vast, sprawling library of stars and galaxies, one extremely small, extremely strange object decided to start reading. Zoom back in, past the galaxies, past the stars, down to one small blue planet and an invisible web connecting nearly every living thing on it. Pause. Millions of species, predators and prey, fungi trading nutrients with tree roots underground, bacteria in the soil that plants cannot live without, insects pollinating flowers that animals depend on for food. Remove one piece, and the ripple can reach species that never even crossed paths with it. It's not a collection of life. It's a single, planet-sized nervous system, millions of years in the making, and every part of it is quietly, constantly adjusting to keep the whole thing alive. Pause. And yet, that entire web is just the stage. The real performance is happening inside one particular species walking around on top of it. Inside you, right now, trillions of cells are running a coordinated operation more intricate than any factory humans have ever built. Your immune system is identifying threats it has never encountered before and building custom defenses on the spot. Your DNA, 3 billion genetic letters, is being read, copied, and repaired in nearly every one of those cells, every single day. Hormones are sending messages across your entire body, arriving at exactly the right place, at exactly the right time. No engineer designed this. No single blueprint exists in one place. It emerged, piece by piece, over billions of years, into a self-repairing, self-regulating, self-sustaining system. It's staggering, but it's still not number one. Because all of that, the cells, the immune system, the DNA, exists to keep one organ alive above all others, the one running this whole show. It's time for number one. Inside your skull is a 3-pound object made of roughly 86 billion neurons. Those neurons don't just sit there, they connect to each other in staggering numbers. More than 100 trillion connections by current estimates. Each one a tiny junction where electrical and chemical signals pass, shaping thought, memory, and feeling. To understand the scale here, consider this. In 2024, scientists mapped a single cubic millimeter of human brain tissue, a piece smaller than a grain of rice. Inside that tiny sample, they found roughly 57,000 cells, around 150 million neural connections, and over 20 centimeters of blood vessels, all packed into a space you could lose on your fingertip. Mapping that one tiny fragment required over a petabyte of data, more storage than most people will use in their entire lives, just to describe a piece of tissue too small to see clearly with the naked eye. But raw numbers still aren't what makes the brain unique. Plenty of systems have large numbers. What makes the brain different is what it does with them. It doesn't just process information. It builds a self out of it. It remembers a childhood. It imagines a future that hasn't happened yet. It feels grief, joy, love, and fear, all from electrical signals and chemistry. It invents language, then uses that language to describe colors, ideas, and feelings that have no physical shape at all. And then it does something almost paradoxical. It turns around and starts asking questions about itself. Right now, the most complex known object in the universe is using electrical impulses to read a sentence, convert it into meaning, and ask whether it agrees. That's not just complexity. That's complexity complex enough to study itself. So here's where it lands. Black holes may hold the densest information. The universe holds everything that exists. Earth's biosphere connects millions of species into one living network. The human body keeps that network's most advanced product alive and running. But the brain, your brain, is the only one of these 5 that can understand all 4 of the others. The universe spent 13.8 billion years arranging atoms into stars, stars into galaxies, and eventually, on one small planet, into something that could look up at the night sky and ask where it came from. In a very real sense, the universe built something complex enough to understand itself, and it's reading this sentence right now. If your brain just got a little more impressed with itself, do it a favor. Hit subscribe, because we're going deeper into the universe's strangest mysteries every week. And down in the comments, what do you think is the most complex thing in existence? I'll pin my favorite answer